Yo, family, this is Denzel Washington, standing right here with a fire blazing in my soul. A message from the Creator burning so deep it's shaking my bones. And a word that's about to hit you like a thunderbolt from heaven's throne room. Picture this, you're sitting there, maybe scrolling on your phone, heart heavy with battles nobody else sees. What's your name, family? Where are you at right now? You in your kitchen, coffee gone cold, or up at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering if the Lord's still got a plan for you. Life's been real, hasn't it? The weight of bills stacking, hiking or hope, the sting of betrayal from folks you trusted with your heart, the grief of losing someone so close it still steals your breath. Maybe you're carrying regrets, words you wish you could unsay, dreams you buried under years of doubt, moments you'd give anything to rewrite. Those nights when tears soaked your pillow, those days you faked a smile to hide the pain, those seasons you thought you'd never stand tall again. The job that drained your soul, the diagnosis that shook your belief, the silence from people you thought would stay forever. Maybe you're wrestling with addiction, watching a loved one slip away, or fighting to keep your family together when everything's falling apart. Maybe you're a single parent praying your kids don't see how tired you are. A veteran carrying memories nobody understands. A retiree wondering if your purpose faded with your career. Or a young person lost in a world that feels too big. But listen close, because the Creator's breaking through the noise right now. He's counted every tear, walked every valley with you, seen every fight you fought in silence. This ain't just another video or some feel-good talk. This is a divine interruption. A holy wake-up call crafted by the Almighty Himself. The Lord's whispering, I ain't done with you, child. He's calling you to rise, to heal, to step into a purpose so sacred it'll shift the atmosphere around you. Don't you dare scroll away, because the Spirit's meeting you right where you are, broken, weary, or just hungry for more. He's ready to mend what's shattered, ignite what's gone dim, and launch you into a season of power you never imagined. Stay with me, family, because this is your moment, your sacred turning point, and the Creator's got 12 brutal lessons that'll shake your world and set your soul on fire. Psalm chapter 34, verse 18 proclaims, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." He's close to you now. Let's dive in. Life's tested you, hasn't it? Maybe you've lost a parent, and the grief lingers like a shadow you can't shake. Maybe you faced a health scare that left you questioning the Almighty's plan, or a job loss that made you feel invisible. Maybe you're carrying choices you wish you could undo, relationships you stayed in too long, opportunities you let slip because fear held you back, paths you didn't take because the world said you weren't enough. The nights you prayed until your voice gave out, the days you kept going when you had nothing left. The Creator sees it all, family. He knows the battles nobody clapped for, the burdens nobody offered to share, the prayers nobody heard but Him. This message is for you, the one who's fought in silence, who's carried pain in secret, who's wondered if your best days are behind you. The Lord's not finished writing your story. He's calling you to rise from the ashes, to let His fire burn away the scars, to step bold into a purpose waiting since before you were born. What's holding you back right now? What lies the enemy whispering to keep you stuck? The Almighty's saying, trust me, I've got you. This ain't about where you've been, it's about where He's taking you. We're diving deep into lessons that'll set you free, heal your heart, and light your path. Stay locked in, because the Creator's about to move in a mighty way. Let's get real for a minute. Maybe you're working 2 jobs, praying the lights stay on. Maybe you're caregiving for a parent, and nobody sees how much it takes. Maybe you're battling depression, and every day's a fight to get out of bed. Maybe you're a student, overwhelmed by pressure, or a business owner wondering if you'll make it through the month. Or maybe you're just someone who's been knocked down one too many times but still has a spark of hope that won't quit. The Lord sees that spark, family. He's fanning it into a flame right now. He's calling you to rise above the pain, the doubt, the fear. He's calling you to trust His plan, to lean into His strength, to walk a path that'll leave a legacy for His glory. What's one thing you've been through that you thought would break you? How's the Almighty carried you this far? Hold that in your heart, because these lessons are about turning your pain into power, your trials into testimony, your scars into stars. Let's go deep, family, because the Creator's got work to do in you. Here's a truth that might sting, but it's going to set you free. Most people are too caught up in their own storms, their debts, their dreams, their drama to carry your burdens. What's weighing heavy on your heart today? You waiting for someone to notice your pain? To hand you the strength to keep going? You might be waiting forever. The Almighty's calling you to be your own advocate, to rise in His power, because the world won't do it for you. The sooner you embrace this, the sooner you stop chasing applause from folks who can't give it. Take the wheel of your life, go after what the Creator's planted in you with relentless belief. People don't have the time or energy to cheer your victory like you do, but here's the freedom: the Lord cares. He sees every tear, every step, every prayer you whispered in the dark. This truth empowers you because your destiny's in your hands and His heart. You're your own motivator, fueled by the Spirit's fire. Stop waiting for someone to see your struggle or cheer your effort. Get up, show up, do the work, because you care and the Almighty's your biggest fan. The world moves when you move, not when you complain. Be the force driving your life forward, trusting His plan. I knew a brother, James, in his 50s, who waited years for his family to back his dream of starting a carpentry business. He was crushed when they shrugged it off, too busy with their own lives. But one night in prayer, the Lord whispered, "Son, I see you." James stopped looking for their nod, leaned into divine strength, and built his business board by board. Today he's thriving, employing others. Maria, a sister in her 30s, spent years hoping her coworkers would notice her hustle at a call center. When they didn't, she felt invisible. But the Creator showed her, "Your work's for me." She kept grinding, praying over every call. And a management role opened up. Leroy, a widower in his 60s, wanted to start a community garden but got no support from neighbors. He planted anyway, trusting the Almighty. And now that garden feeds families. Anita, a teacher in her 40s, poured her heart into her students, but parents rarely thanked her. She kept teaching, praying for each child, and found peace in divine impact. Solomon, a retiree, took a greeter job at a store. He smiled through rejection, and the Lord used his kindness to inspire customers. Then there's Rachel, a nurse who kept serving despite burnout, trusting her efforts mattered to the Creator. What's the Almighty asking you to start without waiting for approval? Here's how to move. Write down one goal He's given you. Pray over it daily for 2 weeks. Guide my steps, Lord. Take one step weekly. Make a call. Draft a plan. Take a class. Journal your progress. The Creator's your audience, family. This truth hits deep because we all crave validation. Maybe you're pouring your heart into a marriage and your spouse ain't reciprocating. Maybe you're raising kids and they don't see your sacrifice. Maybe you're serving at church and nobody says thank you. It stings, but the Lord sees every effort. He's keeping score and His reward's eternal. Some might say, but shouldn't we build community, rely on others? Sure, family, but don't let their silence stop you. Divine community starts with Him. Start praying, "Let my work be for you, Lord." Try this for 2 weeks. Do your work as worship, not for people's praise. Journal how it shifts your heart. Stop looking to people for what only the Almighty can give. This frees you from bitterness, from waiting, from feeling unseen. It's you and the Creator building a legacy for His glory. What's one area you're seeking validation in? How can you surrender it to Him today? Why might you resist this truth? And how can belief overcome that doubt? Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 confirms, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future." Step into that power now. Now let's shift to a lesson about growing deeper in the Creator's truth, because wisdom don't come cheap in this rush world. What's the Almighty teaching you right now? You speeding through life, missing His voice, or pausing to hear Him clear? In a culture hooked on instant answers, quick fixes, and wisdom that fits in a tweet, deep understanding of yourself, your calling, His heart takes time. Dig into his truth to navigate life's storms with divine clarity. It ain't about skimming the surface, it's about seeing through his lens from every angle. Slow down, ask questions, dive into what matters, your purpose, his word, his plan for your life. When you commit to learning in his presence, you unlock doors others miss. You see connections the world overlooks, because the Creator's revealing his secrets to you. Pausing to reflect, to soak in his wisdom, sets you apart. Wisdom ain't about being fast, it's about being rooted in him. That depth gives you power to choose wisely, to walk boldly. Sarah, a sister in her 40s, felt lost in her teaching career, burned out and ready to quit. She slowed down, spent mornings in prayer, studied education with divine guidance. She found new methods, saw her students' needs clearer, and rediscovered her passion. The Lord elevated her to a leadership role. Thomas, a retiree in his 70s, felt aimless after leaving his job. He studied scripture daily, seeking purpose. He learned to mentor youth, and his wisdom changed lives. Vanessa, a young mom in her 30s, felt overwhelmed. She explored parenting through the Almighty's Word, and her home became a place of peace. Ezekiel, a mechanic in his 50s, deepened his craft, praying for insight. The Creator gave him skills that saved his shop. Deborah, a nurse, studied mental health to help her patients, and divine wisdom healed hearts. Then there's Micah, a dad who learned conflict resolution to strengthen his family. What's the Almighty asking you to explore? Here's how: set aside 15 minutes daily for 2 weeks. Read a chapter of Proverbs, watch a tutorial, pray, show me more, Lord. Journal what he reveals. Ask a mentor one question weekly. The deeper you go, the more he equips you to stand firm, to make choices that honor him, to see paths others miss. This is about investing in your soul, family. Maybe you've been running so fast you forgot who you are. Maybe you're stuck in a job that don't fulfill you, or a life that feels shallow. The Creator's calling you to pause, to seek his wisdom, to grow into his masterpiece. Some might argue, I'm too busy to learn. But busyness without wisdom is a trap. Make time for divine truth, it's your lifeline. Wisdom's your weapon against confusion, your shield against bad choices. Try this. Ask one wise person in your life for advice this month. Pray over their words. Read one verse daily, asking, what's this mean for me, Lord? Journal the insights. The more you know, the more you reflect his glory. This ain't just about knowledge, it's about intimacy with the Almighty. About becoming who he created. It's about seeing your pain, your purpose, your path through his eyes. What's one area you need wisdom in? How can you seek it today? Why might you resist slowing down, and how can belief overcome that? Proverbs chapter 2 verse 6 states, for the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. Chase his truth, family, and watch him light your way. Let's talk about a divine promise that flips the world's logic. The more you pour out for others, the more the Creator restores your soul. Who are you blessing right now? What's the Almighty asking you to share? When you give your time, your love, your kindness without expecting a dime back, he moves in ways you can't predict. The more you offer in belief, the more his abundance flows back to you. But don't give to get, give because it honors him, because it's right, because it reflects his heart. Living generously swings open doors you didn't even knock on. The connections you build, the love you sow, the goodwill you spread, it all returns in ways that heal your soul, lift your spirit, and align you with his purpose. Giving shifts your heart from what can I grab to what can I offer in Jesus' name. That shift mends broken places in you, draws his favor, opens your spirit to his peace. You're investing in his kingdom and people, in your own soul. People remember kindness. The Almighty honors generosity. Make it your lifestyle and watch how he transforms your life and those around you. Clara, a grandmother in her 60s, mentored kids at her church despite financial struggles. She'd cook meals, listen to their stories, pray over them. The Lord saw her heart and opened doors, a new job, a supportive community, joy she hadn't felt in years. Marcus, a man in his 50s, volunteered at a shelter after losing his wife. His grief was heavy, but giving brought healing. The Creator restored his hope through the lives he touched. Sophia, a nurse in her 30s, offered free health checks to neighbors. She was exhausted, but divine strength sustained her, and her community rallied around her in need. Jeremiah, a dad in his 40s, coached a struggling little league team. The Almighty blessed his family with unity and joy. Abigail, a retiree, gave her savings to a struggling family, and unexpected blessings followed. Then there's Naomi, a teacher who gave extra hours to tutor students, finding purpose in their growth. What's the Creator calling you to share? Here's how: for 2 weeks, do one kind act daily. Call a friend, donate or pray for a stranger. Pray, show me who to bless, Lord. Journal how it feels and what He does. Ask someone how your giving impacted them. Every act is a seed in His garden, and He promises a harvest. Giving ain't easy when you're hurting, family. Maybe you're low on time, money, or energy. Maybe you've given before and got burned. Some might say, why give when I got nothing left? But the Almighty's economy don't work like the world's. He sees every sacrifice, and He multiplies it. This is about reflecting His heart, healing through generosity, trusting His provision. Start small, share a smile, a word of encouragement, a prayer for your enemy. Try this: pray daily for 1 month. Make me a giver, Lord. Look for opportunities to give, even when it's hard. Journal the results. Giving builds bridges between you and others, between you and the Creator. It's a declaration that you trust His abundance. What's one person you can bless today? How can you offer in belief? Why might you hold back, and how can trust overcome that fear? Luke chapter 6 verse 38 affirms, give and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. Step into that blessing, family, and let the Almighty surprise you with His restoration. Here's a truth the enemy don't want you to hear. No task is too small when it's for the Creator's glory. What's the Almighty asking you to do right now? You looking down on that side hustle, that volunteer gig, that lowly task at work? Every job He gives builds character, resilience, and belief. Humility's the road to greatness, and those who rise high in His kingdom start low, serving with a heart full of worship. Every task's a chance to learn, to grow, to honor Him. When you tackle even the small stuff with trust, no job's insignificant. Many giants in His plan started at the bottom, doing what others dodged, leaning on His purpose. Every core, every hustle grows your skills, builds bridges, teaches you the value of work. Pride blocks blessings, humility unlocks them. You ain't too big for any task the Almighty assigns. Those small moments are preparing you for His bigger call. Robert, a man in his 50s, lost his corporate job and took a janitor role to provide for his family. He served with joy, praying over every room he cleaned. The Lord saw his heart, taught him patience, and opened a path to a leadership role. Esther, a single mom in her 30s, worked nights at a diner. She served with grace, and divine strength built her resilience. She's now a manager, inspiring others. Caleb, a retiree in his 70s, volunteered to fix church pews. He felt it was small, but the Creator used his work to build community, and he found purpose. Naomi, a teacher's aide in her 40s, cleaned classrooms after hours. She prayed for her students, and divine influence changed lives. Joshua, a veteran, took a delivery job, blessing every customer. The Almighty opened doors to a better career. Then there's Lydia, a retiree who sorted donations at a food bank, finding joy in humble service. What's your small task? Here's how: for 2 weeks, do one humble task daily with joy. Wash dishes, help a co-worker, serve at church. Pray, I do this for you, Lord. Journal how it shifts your perspective. Ask the Creator to show you the purpose in your work. Humility's tough, family. Maybe you've got a degree, but you're in a job that feels beneath you. Maybe you're serving others who don't appreciate it. Some might say, I deserve better. But the Almighty's plan don't follow the world's hierarchy. He exalts the humble, not the proud. This is about seeing work as worship, trusting His plan in the mundane. Try this: pray over your work daily for 1 month. Use this for your glory, Lord. See every task as a step toward His purpose. Journal the lessons you learn. Humility builds character that pride can't touch. It's about becoming a servant like Jesus, who washed feet before He saved the world. What's one humble task you can embrace today? How can you do it for the Creator? Why might pride hold you back? And how can belief overcome it? Colossians chapter 3 verse 23 urges, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters." Do it for Him, family, and watch Him elevate you. Now let's talk about finding peace in a chaotic world, because resting in the Creator's presence can change everything. Life's overwhelming, ain't it? What's stressing you out right now? The bills, the family drama, the uncertainty? You need to hit pause, breathe, and dwell in His presence. Reflecting on His truth lets you connect with Him and yourself on a deeper level, clearing mental clutter to hear His voice. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day, sitting in His peace, can melt stress, sharpen your focus, bring a calm that equips you to face life's battles. You'll see mountains shrink, dreams take shape, because the Almighty is speaking to you. This practice is your bridge to His clarity, where His peace meets your purpose, where chaos turns to solutions. By carving out time to seek Him, you train your soul to stay present, to drown out noise, to hear His guidance. Imagine a life where stress don't own you, where you face trials with grace because you're rooted in His strength. Lisa, a sister in her 30s, was drowning in anxiety from her job. She reflected on Psalm 23 daily, 10 minutes before work. Her fears eased, her decisions cleared, and she found peace in divine presence. Samuel, a brother in his 60s, used reflection to heal from grief after losing his dad. Sitting with the Creator, he found strength to keep going. Monica, a mom in her 40s, dwelt on divine promises during her son's illness. Her calm steadied her family, and healing followed. Amos, a veteran in his 50s, reflected on Scripture to fight PTSD. The Almighty gave him peace that therapy alone couldn't. Hannah, a student, used reflection to manage exam stress, gaining divine clarity and success. Then there's Jeremiah, a dad who reflected to find patience with his kids, strengthening his home. What's stopping you from starting? Here's how: set a timer for 5 minutes daily for 2 weeks. Sit quiet, breathe, repeat, "The Lord is my shepherd." Journal any thoughts He gives. If your mind wanders, gently return to the verse. Pray me here, Lord. This ain't about emptying your mind, it's about filling it with Him. This is about finding peace in a loud world, family. Maybe you're so busy you don't know how to stop. Maybe you're scared to be still because the pain might surface. Some might say this ain't for believers. But reflecting on the Almighty's word is biblical. It's dwelling in His presence. This discipline builds trust, calms chaos, draws you closer to Him. Try this: pick one verse weekly, e.g., Psalm 46:10. Reflect on it morning and night. Pray, speak through this, Lord. Journal the insights. This ain't about perfection, it's about presence. What's one stress you can bring to the Creator today? How can you make space for His peace? Why might you resist stillness, and how can belief overcome it? Psalm chapter 46 verse 10 declares, "Be still and know that I am God." Start now, family, and let His calm transform you. Here's a call to step bold into the unknown, because playing it safe keeps you stuck in the enemy's trap. What's the Almighty nudging you to step into? Starting that ministry, moving to a new city, forgiving someone who broke your heart. Every leap forward needs courage. It's the spark for growth. Don't let fear chain you. See it as a chance to trust Him deeper. The worst outcome? You stumble and learn. The best, you soar in His plan. Even if you fall, every lesson brings you closer to Wang's purpose. Fear's human, but courage is your spiritual muscle. Flex it and trust. The more you step into the unknown with the Creator, the bigger your belief grows. Courage ain't reckless, it's knowing He's got you. The greatest victories, the moments that change everything, come when you bet on His call for your life. Michael, a brother in his 40s, left a secure job to teach inner city kids. He faced lean months, but the Lord provided, and his impact grew. Rachel, a sister in her 20s, shared her testimony publicly despite fear of judgment. The Creator used her story to heal others. Benjamin, a retiree in his 70s, started a Bible study for veterans, doubting himself. The Almighty filled the room with hungry souls. Lydia, a mom in her 30s, adopted a child despite financial fears. Divine provision grew her family in love. Jonah, a worker, spoke truth to his boss, and divine favor followed. Then there's Esther, a retiree who moved to serve her community, finding purpose and courage. What's your bold step? Here's how: write down one risk he's calling you to take. Pray over it for 1 week. Give me courage, Lord. Take one small step, make a call, write a plan, forgive someone. Journal what happens. Ask the Creator to show his hand in it. Courage feels like jumping off a cliff, family. Maybe you've been burned before, took a chance and fell flat. Some might say, why risk when I can stay safe? But safety without the Almighty's plan is stagnation. He's your net. This is about trusting his plan over your fear, building a belief that moves mountains. Try this, pray daily for 1 month. Make me bold for you, Lord. Look for small risks to take, speak up, try something new, trust him. Journal the outcomes. Courage is where trust meets action, where dreams meet reality. What's one risk you've avoided that he's calling you to face? How can you trust him with it today? Why might fear hold you back, and how can belief overcome it? Joshua chapter 1 verse 9 commands, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Move, family, and let him catch you. Let's lean into a lesson about trusting the Creator's clock, because his timing ain't ours. What's the Almighty asking you to wait on? A job, a healing, a dream. In an instant gratification world, his success, your calling, relationships, growth takes time. Waiting ain't just sitting idle. It's staying faithful when results ain't instant. It's trusting his timing, knowing small steps in belief lead to big breakthroughs. He rewards those who endure, who keep sowing when the harvest's hidden. Don't let slow progress shake you. Stay rooted, trust your work and him will bloom. Waiting ain't passive, it's active trust, persistent prayer. Think of a seed, you water it, tend it, but growth's unseen at first. Under the surface, the Creator's working. Your efforts ain't wasted, even when fruit's delayed. Grace, a woman in her 50s, waited years for her marriage to heal. She prayed, stayed faithful, showed love despite pain. The Lord restored their bond stronger than ever. Daniel, a brother in his 30s, waited for a promotion he deserved. He worked diligently, and a better door opened. Miriam, a widow in her 60s, waited for financial stability. She trusted the Almighty, worked hard, and unexpected blessings followed. Joel, a student in his 20s, waited for a scholarship. He studied faithfully and divine reward came. Ruth, a mom, waited for her son's heart to soften. Daily prayers brought him home. Then there's Abigail, a retiree who waited to reconcile with her daughter. Patience bore fruit in love. What's your wait? Here's how: write down one thing you're waiting on. Pray over it daily for 2 weeks, thanking him for his timing. Take one faithful step weekly, apply for a job. Forgive a hurt, save $1. Journal how he moves. Ask the Creator to show his purpose in the wait. Waiting is hard when you're hurting, family. Maybe you've prayed for years with no answer. Maybe you're watching others thrive while you wait. Some might say, why wait when I can act now? But acting outside his timing is a detour. Divine delay ain't denial. This is about trusting his timing, becoming who he needs you to be for the blessing. Try this, thank him daily for 1 month for the wait. I trust your plan, Lord. Look for lessons in the delay, strength. Trust wisdom. Journal them. Waiting is worship, a declaration that you trust his goodness. What's one area you can practice patience in today? How can you trust his timing? Why might impatience tempt you? And how can belief overcome it? Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 reminds, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Hold fast, family, because his timing's perfect. Now let's talk about pushing through when you want to quit, because staying in the fight unlocks divine promises. What's trying to make you give up right now? Rejection, failure, exhaustion. Challenges hit everybody. But those who win keep pushing in his strength. When you want to give up, remember why you started his call. Your purpose, the lives you'll touch. Endurance sets apart those who walk in divine promises from those who walk away. It's not about speed, it's about never stopping until you reach his goal. Every setback's a setup for a comeback. Every obstacle's a test of trust, the Almighty asking how bad you want my plan. Every push proves you're his. David, a brother in his 30s, faced rejection after rejection for his book. He kept writing, praying, submitting. A publisher's door opened, and his story blessed thousands. Naomi, a sister in her 50s, prayed for her son's addiction recovery despite years of pain. The Creator delivered him. Jacob, a veteran in his 40s, trained for a marathon despite injuries. Divine strength carried him across the finish line. Ruth, a nurse in her 30s, studied for her certification through exhaustion. The Almighty rewarded her with a career she loves. Isaac, a dad, worked 2 jobs to support his family. A better opportunity came. Then there's Lydia, a mom who kept praying for her marriage despite silence. Restoration followed. What's your endurance? Here's how: write down one goal you're tempted to quit. Pray for strength daily for 2 weeks. Keep me going, Lord. Take one small step daily. Write a sentence. Make a call. Pray again. Journal your progress. Ask the Creator to renew your strength. Endurance is your testimony, family. Maybe you've fallen 100 times. Maybe you're tired of trying. Some might say, why keep going when it's so hard? But quitting steals your promise. Every step forward is a victory in his eyes. This is about proving your trust, showing the world his strength in you. Try this. Celebrate one small win daily for 1 month, a task done. A prayer answered, a step taken. Pray, thank you for my progress, Lord. Journal the wins. Endurance builds character that shines for his glory. It's about becoming a warrior who don't back down. What's one goal you can keep pushing for today? How can you lean on his strength? Why might you want to quit? And how can belief overcome it? Philippians chapter 3 verse 14 encourages, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. Don't stop, family. His strength is enough. Let's dive into a truth about growing every day, because the Creator's school never closes. What's he teaching you today? Make it your mission to learn daily a skill, a truth, a glimpse of his heart. The more you learn, the more you reflect his glory to yourself, others, the world. Stay open, curious, because his lessons are everywhere. Learning ain't just books or sermons, it's in conversations, trials, moments you overcome by his grace. The world's your classroom, every day a divine assignment. Emma, a sister in her 60s, learned forgiveness through pain after a family betrayal. Her growth healed her family's divide. Joseph, a brother in his 40s, learned financial wisdom after debt. His knowledge freed him to bless others. Leah, a student in her 20s, learned resilience through failure. Her growth led to a scholarship. Micah, a dad in his 30s, learned to cook for his kids after his wife's illness. His learning brought joy to his home. Abigail, a retiree, learned technology to connect with her grandkids, building divine bonds. Then there's Jonah, a worker who learned leadership skills, earning divine favor. What's your lesson? Here's how. Learn one new thing daily for 2 weeks. Read a verse, watch a tutorial. Ask a mentor a question. Pray, teach me, Lord. Journal what you learn. Ask him to show you how to apply it. Learning keeps you alive, family. Maybe you feel stuck, like you've hit a ceiling. Some might say, I'm too old to learn. But his school don't have an age limit. He's calling you to grow, to stretch, to become more like him. This is about staying open to his lessons, trusting he's always teaching. Try this. Ask him daily for 1 month, what's my lesson today? Look for answers in his word and people in challenges. Journal the lessons. Learning's worship, a way to honor him with your mind. It builds a trust that adapts, a life that thrives. What's one thing you can learn to grow closer to him? How can you seek it today? Why might you resist learning, and how can belief overcome it? Matthew chapter 7 verse 7 promises, Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. Seek it, family, and let him expand you. Now let's talk about feeding your soul with words, because the Creator speaks through them. What you're reading right now, the more you read, the more you see through his eyes. His word, stories, wisdom teach success, failure, trust, love, everything. Make reading a habit. It stretches your mind, challenges your heart, shows new paths in him. Reading sparks creativity, opens your spirit to think bigger, solve problems with his insight. Every page, every story adds tools to your belief. John, a brother in his 40s, read scripture daily and found divine purpose after years of aimlessness. His life shifted and he now mentors others. Abigail, a sister in her 50s, read biographies of faithful leaders. Their stories inspired her to lead her community. Noah, a teen in his 20s, read about science through a Christian lens. It strengthened his trust and career. Esther, a retiree in her 70s, read devotionals daily. Her belief grew, blessing her family. Daniel, a worker, read about leadership and divine promotion followed. Then there's Ruth, a mom who read parenting books, finding divine wisdom for her kids. What's your book? Here's how. Read 10 pages daily for 2 weeks. Psalms, a devotional, a book on your craft. Pray before reading. Speak to me, Lord. Journal what you're in. Ask him to make the words alive. Reading's your gateway to his heart, family. Maybe you're too busy or you don't like books. Some might say, I don't need books, I have the Lord. But he speaks through his word and inspired wisdom. Start small, a verse, an article, a story. This is about feeding your soul, hearing his voice and words. Try this. Pick one book or chapter weekly for 1 month. Read it slowly, praying for insight. Ask, what's this mean for me, Lord? Journal the insights. Reading builds a trust that's deep, a mind that's sharp, a heart that's open. What's one book or verse you can read to hear him today? How can you make it a habit? Why might you resist reading? And how can belief overcome it? 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 16 reveals, all scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness. Open it today, family, and let him speak. Here's a challenge to choose the path that shapes you, because the easy way don't lead to divine greatness. What hard choice you facing right now? Easy choices breed hard lives, tough ones build blessed futures. When you choose his hard road, you forge resilience, character, trust. Don't fear struggle, it's where he shapes you. Push yourself, face trials head on, know today's pain builds tomorrow's promise. The easy way feels good now, but steals your growth. True growth happens when you're stretched, when you want to quit but trust him instead. Ruth, a woman in her 50s, chose to forgive her estranged sister. It hurt, but the Lord healed her heart and restored their bond. Isaac, a brother in his 40s, started over after bankruptcy. His perseverance paid off with a thriving business. Deborah, a mom in her 30s, disciplined her teens with love despite their rebellion. Divine softening followed. Gideon, a worker in his 50s, stayed honest despite pressure to cheat. The Almighty rewarded his integrity with favor. Miriam, a retiree, volunteered despite health challenges, finding divine strength and purpose. Then there's Naomi, a teacher who tackled a tough class, trusting divine guidance to reach her students. What's your struggle? Here's how. Face one hard task this week, forgive someone. Finish a project, pray through pain. Pray daily for 2 weeks, give me strength, Lord. Journal your progress. Ask him to show his purpose in the struggle. The hard road's lonely, family. Maybe you're tempted to take shortcuts to avoid the pain. Some might say, why struggle when I can coast? But coasting steals your growth. The Almighty's in the struggle with you. This is about becoming a warrior for his glory, trusting his process. Try this. Pray daily for 1 month for grit. Make me strong in you, Lord. Look for growth in the struggle. Trust, patience, courage. Journal the lessons. The hard roads where you meet his strength, where you become his masterpiece. What's one hard choice you can make for him today? How can you walk it with him? Why might you seek the easy path, and how can belief overcome it? Romans chapter 5 verse 3 to 4 declares, "We also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope." Walk it, family, and let Him shape you. Finally, let's face the rawest truth. Giving up means losing the Creator's eternal promise. What's tempting you to quit right now? No matter how hard, how far you feel from His promise, keep going. As long as you're in the fight, there's hope to claim His victory. Winners don't quit, quitters don't win. Success ain't about never falling, it's rising every time in His strength. You'll stumble, face setbacks, feel like you're losing ground, but the only true failure is walking away from His call. Paul, a man in his 60s, prayed for his wayward son despite years of silence. The Lord restored their relationship, and Paul's trust inspired others. Hannah, a sister in her 20s, pursued her nursing degree through setbacks. Divine endurance gave her a career that saves lives. Ezekiel, a pastor in his 50s, preached despite an empty church. The Almighty filled the pews with hungry souls. Miriam, a mom in her 40s, prayed for her daughter's healing. He answered in His time. Joel, a worker, applied for jobs despite rejections. A dream career opened. Then there's Abigail, a retiree who kept serving her community despite doubt, finding divine purpose. What's your fight? Here's how. Write down one thing you're tempted to quit. Pray daily for 2 weeks. Give me strength to endure, Lord. Take one step forward daily. Study, pray, try again. Journal your journey. Ask Him to show His promise in the fight. Quitting's tempting when you're tired, family. Maybe you've given all you got and ain't enough. Some might say, why keep fighting when I'm losing? But the Almighty's enough. This is about proving your trust. Trusting His promise when hope feels gone. Try this. Pray daily for 1 month. Keep me in the fight, Lord. Celebrate one step forward weekly, a prayer, a task, a victory. Journal the wins. Quitting's the enemy's plan, enemy's His. Every fight builds a testimony that shines for His glory. What's one thing you can keep fighting for today? How can you trust His strength? Why might you want to quit? And how can belief overcome it? Galatians chapter 6 verse 9 assures, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Keep running, family, and claim His promise. Yo, family, there you have it. -12 brutal truths straight from the Creator's heart, delivered with fire to ignite your soul. What's stirring in your spirit right now? These lessons can shake you or shape you. Choose to rise. The Almighty's calling you to heal, to shine, to walk in His purpose. Don't let these truths sit. Let Him burn in your heart. Drop "I'm rising" in the comments. Declare you're claiming His call. Share this with someone who needs to know they're not too broken, too late, too lost. He's got them. Hit that like, subscribe, join this belief family. What's your story, family? What truth hit you deepest? How's the Creator moving in your life? Drop it below. Your voice as a spark for someone else. Let's lift each other, pray together, shine together. Tell me what broke you, what built you, what's He doing in you now? Keep burning. Stay bold, cause heaven's cheering you on. If this lit your soul, drop a 7-7 in the comments. You're part of the remnant rising for His glory. Bless you, family. Let's keep climbing.